Everyone thinks that greed kills portfolios. Personally, I think it's overconfidence. That thing that whispers 2x is nothing, but you can wait for 20x, for example. It's also why I think as well altcoins never get profit taken, or they rug a lot earlier than you ever think. Now I think, and this probably is true without even checking, most people lose money in bull markets than they do in the bear because they think they're going to make more money than the average, which is technically Bitcoin. If you've not yet done so, please do subscribe to the channel and let me know your overall thoughts. Are you a Bitcoin holder, or are you waiting for altcoins to do something magical? Now, overconfidence comes from a couple of things: consistency through winning, and the obvious, you believe you're the exception to the reality of the rule. So thinking essentially you'll always catch tops, or you believe that this time is different, for example, is a good one. But you also assume that every pullback's just noise and that you're a long-term investor, but you're actually buying an altcoin that is dying, or any cryptocurrency asset, or even any decent asset that is actually not very good fundamentally because you found a really good looking website or you're following a certain influencer. That's where you become a bit of an issue. But again, you've also got to think maths and probability and dominance doesn't apply to you. At the end of the day, you can talk about many different things, but I think for me, people ignore the obvious. Overconfidence is one of the biggest issues. And if you're ignoring every other rule, what are you even doing? So this is pretty much the NASDAQ on the screen. And basic investing is quite simple. You buy quality assets as far away from all-time high as you possibly can, especially when you talk about cryptocurrency. Same in the stock market, you want to buy at a fair value, a fair price. And you could argue with the NASDAQ, the S&P, certain stocks that you think they're going to survive forever. You will buy it, you will dollar cost average into it, and you will just sit there. That's just simplistic investing. But I think the problem we have in the world of crypto is everyone wants to optimize everything. You want to get the 10x's every single time. You want to buy the emerging thing. Now, that was fine years ago. If you watch my content, I was an altcoin player. And that was a very, very different beast. But the illusion now has changed massively because we have so many altcoins and the power is all in Bitcoin. And obviously, yeah, you can talk about intelligence about it, but the reality is there's nothing that's really doing well. By the way, if you go to my X, I'm doing a giveaway for TradingView. There's a link below if you want to jump into TradingView anyways and you get an extra $15 off. I would highly recommend you just sign up anyways because this fee is unbelievable in terms of what you get. And the amount of tools now that are on TradingView, every single video I use it, so you know it. But it's the best deal ever. So if you've teetered on the edge of, oh, should I buy it? Go on, do it. But as well, simple beats clever because a lot of people are looking at the market in a different way. They swap out, say, Bitcoin for, 100 million microcap coins just because some username on Discord said it's going to do well. But below my head, you can see the overall performance over the last 5 years and 10 years, and more importantly, all time. All these assets at the top here have already ran. They've already gained unbelievable amounts. But even then, you look at things and you think, wow, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, these are just assets that have done well over the course of time. I've been in this market for long enough to know that those gains have already been done, realistically. You will make money if you buy the lows. But as I say, we're talking about overconfidence. People do not want to buy in the bear market when it is an overconfident market because people buy when it's green and when the validation's already happened, i.e. the confidence is there. The permission has already been granted. Oh, that's a good asset, like Zcash, right? Zcash is flying. It's already ranked 13 on here, right? Overall, it's mental. Zcash was not the best asset in the world if you talk about it, say, a year ago, 2 years ago, right? It wasn't. But now people want to buy it for some reason. Overconfidence makes you think that you're going to win. Are you? Is Zcash going to become a top performing asset in the next 5 years? Or have you already missed the boat? Why weren't you buying that months ago or years ago? That's the thing. That is a real life example. Even now, we talk about the overall time horizon. It's still down 95% on every other asset around it. That's mental. But let's talk about the 2, the 3, and the 4x problem, because we're conditioned in the world of crypto that, 3x gain is embarrassing. If you got a 3 or a 4 or a 5x gain in the stock market, you're an absolute don. And that's the thing. People look at the S&P and think, wow, this is amazing. Nvidia has absolutely flew over the last 3 years, give or take. MicroStrategy's done well over a time period. Meta has done fantastic, right? But we were all expecting that Bitcoin was going to do even bigger than it did, but actually did an 8x within that same time period. It already outperformed most things. Apart from 2025, you could argue, it's done pretty well over the course of 2023, 2024, early 2025. But the reality is, as I say, people think that the altcoin market's going to be amazing. But the amazing gains were actually bought in 2023, not 2025. And people, as I say, we look back at those screenshots before. People were expecting, say, Solana going up to, say, $3,000 or something stupid when it was already at 200. It already went from 8. Is it really going to go that far? Probably not, no. People got totally confused by the overall metrics because I think, personally, they weren't even here in the bear market. They were just buying in terms of the bullish momentum, thinking it was going to go higher, like every other cycle. I mean, Solana's by far one of the best options. I was considering buying it, and I did buy it for a bit on the dollar cost average challenge. And I kind of jumped out of it pretty quickly, even though I got some profit. But there was some stupid price analysis on a lot of these assets. Let me just showcase them. Now, in true fashion, obviously Raoul Pol has fuck all to do with any market in terms of price predictions because he gets it wrong every single time. He was saying in this video between $600 on a normal cycle and then up to $2,000 for a proper bull market with Bitcoin being 800,000. This was a video that was done in April 2024. Just for some bloody context on this, right, which is annoying me, it did a 26x give or take from that point from the low to roughly when that video came out. Oh, it's going to carry on going, is it? Oh, yeah, okay, good one. But again, people will watch and consume these videos thinking, I'm going to make loads of money because this person said this and the other. And people are acting like, locking in any sort of profits is illegal. But at the end of the day, that overconfidence will trick you into buying more and it becomes a trap. Did you make any more money from that point? No. Are you going to make losses? Probably, if you bought in. And the reason why I go back to April 2024 was because that was the last proper altcoin run we realistically had. Between that, 2023 and 2024, it was brilliant. We haven't had anything since then. And that's where the worry is. And yeah, we can talk about the risk management. We can talk about the fear and greed at 12 currently. The no stop loss bias, the no pain, no gain bollocks, the zero position sizing and all this kind of stuff, all in on one meme coin with a dog and a sunglasses. We can talk a lot about fear and greed, but at the end of the day, right, I say this a lot. Is it worth holding for 2 to 3 to 4 years of an altcoin for about 2 or 3 weeks days in the sun when realistically you're going to be down anyways? Probably not. And that's the thing. This market, as I say, is very, very different. Even if we get a big flurry now for 3 or 4 weeks, there's a high chance that people who bought at certain crunch points when they think they were going to make loads of money either break even or make nothing anyways because the other rotation's happening. Look at Zcash, for example. It's still down on its overall price from the prior cycle, which is crazy in itself. But yeah, this is just for me a massive warning sign of the market. Why is money flying into this? What is happening? What is this reasoning? Why are privacy coins like this doing well? Makes you wonder. By the way, this is a bit more of a longer time frame chart. As you can see, it's already been up here before. So yeah, by the way, I wouldn't recommend you buy this right now. It's a bit cooked, just saying. Don't get overconfident now. But let's talk about something that people forget. I think, for me, and I know this because I think it myself sometimes, long term. People don't think long term. This is a Bitcoin chart. It looks amazing. Now, these are some levels that I've pinpointed on my chart. These are all on my Patreon. If you're interested, there's a 35% discount and you can get a lot of courses now. You can get a lot of other stuff coming as well, not to mention videos and other bits and pieces. The problem people have is they don't think long term. They want fast wins. We know that. They also want to kind of prove that they're right. Everyone likes to gloat these days, especially on X. And, they ignore the compound element of like if you buy at the lows and you sell some at the highs and then you go back and rebuy back and nibble and you gain 3 units. They forget about that. I think they underestimate time because most people, I think anyways, have never invested before crypto. And you can see that with influencers. I mentioned it on my post not too long ago on X about how each cycle the celebrities that come in and they get destroyed because they've never ever invested before. They just come into a market thinking they're the dog's bollocks in a bull market. They do well for a little bit. It's basically called the Dunning-Kruger effect, where you essentially have lack of knowledge and you do well. The more you know, the less shit you do. Well, the worse you do, basically. Long story short. But I think, anyways, this is my personal viewpoint, Bitcoin will always reward patience. Whereas I think altcoins punish the impatient. The one thing that I've noticed, and this is very, very obvious in this cycle, people sell their bags very, very quickly in altcoins. Like any sort of pump, it's gone. And we can see that with the emissions. And you could probably talk about emissions on a lot of altcoins in terms of like, look at Polkadot, great example. I absolutely love Polkadot. The technology of it, the way that it was like kind of marketed, the person running it. But they had, for a long time period, 18% inflation. That's 18% of the token flow going out to the market. If there's not enough liquidity, it's just going to die. And did. And I got out of that, luckily, at a good point. The problem is, people will sell in every single pump. This is why they don't go far enough, because the team are trying to sell. There's inflation models here to kind of keep them sufficient and running. That is not an asset that you should be investing in, realistically. This market, as I say, has changed completely. There's not enough liquidity. It all goes into Bitcoin. Every single decent-ish altcoin has, inflation models and emissions that is just getting sold on the market. And what's people doing? Selling. It's a recipe for disaster. The echo chamber, right? Every single person can talk about this because I think this is 100% true. And as I said, I feel psychology-wise, I pissed on everyone's chips by going against the grain of, I don't think altcoin's going to do much better than what they did in 2023, 2024. And I sold pretty much most of them. I've been heavy in Bitcoin throughout most of this cycle, and it saved my ass. You've got overconfidence with opinions, right? You've got the group mindset of, say, paid services that you jump into. You're paying $100 a month to get, freaking signals. You're all a part of that echo chamber. Likewise with the influencers that shout the loudest and talk about their price predictions, and they try and get it out and out and out. And we've seen some crazy stuff. And I've seen people that have been right, but hounded because it's not their bias. Blockchain backer recently sold his cryptocurrency at weird levels, but ultimately sold, and he was like, I'm out of here. You've got Ben Cohen with the altcoin market. Yeah, 100% spot on with that. But the houndedness of it is unbelievable. Even Camel Finance, with some of the stuff he said, hounded for talking about it. But it's the other side of the coin that I have a problem with, is the influencers that shout the wrong things allowed us to get the views. And that creates that echo chamber. And what I found as well, the world of YouTube, for example, the world of X is very tribalistic. People who follow me probably don't follow other content creators who are shouting from the rooftops, but the people who are shouting from the rooftops are probably following other people like that just to confirm their bias, and they think they're going to get rich because certain influencers said, oh, Solana's going to go to $3,000, or Ethereum's going to go to $20,000 overnight, or XRP is going to go to 569 or whatever stupid numbers. That's where the problem lies with the overconfidence. It becomes very much a culture that you get trapped into, and you think it's going to do amazing. And then all of a sudden, when someone says it isn't, you unfollow them, you run away, and that's it. Now, we could talk about the solution. Taking profit at realistic multiples is absolutely fine. Having a risk management plan is absolutely fine. Using dominance, essentially, if you want to use this at the bottom, you can. There's a free indicator on my profile. Use it. Risk on, risk off. Keeping Bitcoin as your base, not altcoins, is a good key to survival. Surviving long term is key. You got to benefit from that buy and low, sell high malarkey. But the goal is to grow your portfolio, grow your wealth, not your ego, realistically. Because if you get an ego and you get overconfident, you start believing the hype, and then you get wrecked once. And then that's it. You only get wrecked once and then you're dead. Now, personal experience, I can talk how in 2020, I bought Polkadot at the floor. I bought Zilliqa at the floor. I bought Cardano at the floor. VeChain at the floor as well. Made absolutely monstrous amount of gains. This time around, not the same. Did well with Nia. Did well with Rose. That's about as far as it went, realistically. Did really well with Bitcoin. That was where bulk of my money was. But it's a different cycle. Very different cycle. And luckily, I didn't hold on to those three assets. And I sold. And I was just mainly in Bitcoin from that point. And even Runes didn't do very well. That's just the given. Made some money, lost some money. It is what it is, unfortunately. But that's the thing. I've lost money there because I was overconfident thinking what happened in the last cycle would happen again. Did it? No. Every time I ignore a plan, you get punished. I can allude to that because that's happened a few times. But that's just the way it is. The cycle will always reward the humble, not the clever. Sometimes it's absolutely fine being average. It's absolutely fine buying Bitcoin. It's absolutely fine because if you compare Bitcoin to any other market kind of asset, 9 times out of 10 over a 10-year period, 5-year period, you're doing all right. Overconfidence kills more gains than the bear market will, in my opinion. Watch this video.